Welcome to a Zoom Room special Star Sports TV. Joining me today is senior trader Flynn Goward. Flynn, thank you for joining me. Obviously, the Masters a little bit later on in the year than we all anticipated due to recent events. How is the outright market looking at this stage?
Yeah, so I can't wait for it to get started, Jordan. Obviously, tomorrow about 12 o'clock our time, it'll all kick off slightly earlier than what we're used to for the Masters. So Bryson DeChambeau heads to the market at 7-1, then Dustin Johnson 8-1, Jon Rahm 10s, Justin Thomas 12-1, McIlroy also 12s, Schauffele 14, Brooks Koepka 16-1, and then 25-1 bar. And just to note that we are 7 places at 50 odds.
Fantastic. And I suppose the fact that it is later on in the year might have made an impact on the course somewhat. Obviously, the weather's going to be a little bit wetter from what I hear. How has that shaped the market? I suppose some of the bigger hitters are at the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think these days the bigger hitters tend to be the better players. So I don't think it's to do with the course that they're at the head of the market. I think what they're saying is it's going to play longer, has been playing longer. But Classic Augusta, you need to be a great tee to green player. And the best players in the world are the best tee to green players when you look at the head of the market. There's going to be a little bit more rough around the greens, so I think your touch is going to be slightly more important. But I think ultimately you just need to find greens in regulation, and if you do that, then I think that you'll contend.
Nice. And just finally on the outright market, have you seen sort of any market movers? Some that were perhaps big prices pre-tournament and shortened up a little bit. Seen any sort of big money around?
In terms of big moves, they have been more towards the upper end of the market. In terms of Cameron Smith, well, it was 125-1, and he's been shorted to 80, and now he's 70-1. Cameron Smith, the Australian. Cameron Champ is another one to talk about. Again, another bomb. I would imagine punters are expecting him to be able to bomb it down there, and his irons have been very good recently as well. He was 100-1. He's been widely tipped up, and he's now 66-1 poke. So a couple of Camerons there that have shortened in the market.
And of course, Flynn, I just wanted to touch on some of the liabilities. The tournament, obviously, just a day away now. Have you seen any big money around? And more importantly, where's it going?
Yeah, so I spoke just a second ago about Cameron Champ, one of the bigger hitters in the field. He's also one of our biggest losers. He was widely tipped up at 100-1 from a lot of renowned tipsters, and he's now 66. He's probably our biggest loser in the book. Colin Morikawa, his first time at the Masters, he's now 33-1. He's a big loser for us. Brooks Koepka, who played very well at Houston at the weekend, he's 16-1 now, again a big loser. And then the two at the front of the market, the big losers for us are Justin Thomas, who's won since the restart, he's 12-1, and Jon Rahm, who's obviously had those two hole-in-ones in previous days. He's also won twice since the restart, he's 10-1. So those will be the players that we won't want to be winning this week.
Cool. Okay, lovely. Now let's move on to some of the specials. I hear Star Sports are top price on all players at the moment in the win-only market.
We are indeed. So we've opened a win-only market. In this market, we are best price every single player in the Masters tournament to bet them win-only, and we'll guarantee you as a punter to win £10,000 minimum on your golfer. Obviously, you can bet them to win less, but if you want them to bet to win 10 grand on any golfer in the Masters in the win-only market, we'll happily lay that for you. So just call up over the phone, go through the app, however you want to bet, and we'll lay it.
Lovely. And let's just touch on the promotion, the money back promotion you've got in the Masters outright market, Flynn.
We do indeed. So if you have a bet before the start of round 2 on the outright market, we will refund 50% of your win part of the bet as a free bet up to 100 quid if your player misses the cut. So if you don't get a chance to get through today, 3s and 4, at least you'll get half of your win stake back.
And finally, let's just move on then to the exclusive specials that I suppose you and all the golf traders have been busy pricing up. What have you got for us this year?
Yeah, so what I want to talk about first is the hole-in-one markets. Obviously, we've seen 2 hole-in-ones from Jon Rahm before the Masters has even started. He had a great hole-in-one during the practice round on one of the par 3s, where he pitched it about a foot away from the hole and spun it back in. And then obviously the hole-in-one we saw yesterday, which is just unbelievable. If you see that plastered all over social media, when he skipped it about 4 times across the lake and it's pipped onto the green and rolled round and in. Unbelievable. So in terms of hole-in-one markets that we've got on site, we've got hole-in-ones to be on different holes and just any hole-in-one in round 1. So a hole-in-one to occur in round 1 is 8-1. On hole 4 in any round is 25-1. Hole 6 in any round is 8-1. Hole 12 in any round is 16-1. And hole 16, the famous hole 16, where Tiger Woods had that chip in, where the night ball just rolled in, and where we've seen many a hole in one over the years, is 4-6. Obviously, they set it up on Sunday where the pin position is there and the ball can just funnel into the hole if you put it in the right spots. So 4-6, hole 16 in any round. In terms of other special markets we put together a birdie or better market for round one. So we priced up 8 players. So that's the top 7 in the market plus Tiger Woods. So each hole, so all 18 holes of their first round, we've priced up for them to birdie or better the hole. One hole for one player we've seen quite a bit of interest in is hole 15, which is a 530-yard par 5. The average score historically on this hole is 4.78, and Bryson to birdie this hole is 5-6. So we've laid a couple of decent sized bets at 5-6 on Bryson to birdie hole 15. Obviously 13 and 15 are the easiest, so-called easiest holes on the course in terms of how they score. Both par 5s, both reachable in 2, and you'd like to think that a lot of holes will be reachable in 2 for Bryson this week. So we've seen a lot of money at 5-6. There's just one to look at there. And you can also perm these up in multiples. So if you wanted Bryson to birdie hole 15 and Tiger Woods to do the same thing on hole 15, then you can perm them up in doubles and have lots of different multiples. And what better way to watch the Masters, watch the player on screen and bet them to birdie in the next hole.
Fantastic. And I suppose we touched on it earlier about the course. What will the winning score look like this year? I assume you priced that one up. How's it looking?
We have indeed. So we've banded this. We tend to do this for most majors, but it's really interesting when you're just talking about the winning score and how the course would affect it. Obviously, Tiger Woods won at 13 under. There were a few players at 12 under last year, and obviously going backwards down the field. We've priced up 12 and 13 under at 7-2, so that's 7-2 favourite, along with 14 under and 15 under. That's 7-2 as well. 16 and 17 under is 11-2, and it gets bigger from there. And then if you're to move the other way, 10 and 11 under is 9-2. And then 8 under and 9 under 7-1, and again it moves up from there. And you'll be able to find all of them under the specials tab, under the golf tab on the website if you want to have a bet there. And it will be really interesting to see how the course plays, because obviously it's going to play longer, which means that you'd think it would score harder, so score lower. But then also if we get some rain and time of year, the greens might be softer, so there might be lower scores out there. So you can really take an opinion on that market. We've also done winning margins. That's priced up on site. Obviously, we saw that Bryson, when in the last major in the US Open, he won by 6 shots. Will he go and do the same again? It'd be really interesting to see if a player does just go clear. We don't tend to see it in Masters Championships since kind of the main Tiger Woods era. So it'd be interesting to see how many the winner does win by this year. Another special we have, Jordan, is the limited handicap. So we've got this price up on site. We've got 10 players, some of the best in the world in here, and we've handicapped them at similar prices. So Bryson DeChambeau's off scratch at 6-1. Dustin Johnson is +1 at 6-1. John Rahm +1 at 7-1. Justin Thomas +2 7s. Cantlay +3.5. Obviously won the other week. He's 15-2. Bubba Watson, a previous Master winner, +4.5 at 15-2 as well. Tony Finau struggles to win but loves to be up there for the Masters, +4.5 at 15-2 also. Xander Schauffele +2.5, 8-1. Jordan Spieth +6 at 8-1, and then Scotty Scheffler +6 at 8-1. Scotty Scheffler, obviously the first time he's played the course, but he can hit it pretty far, and he'll be bang up there with them.
Brilliant, Finn. Thanks for your time. Busy weekend ahead. Look forward.
Exactly. Cheers, Jordan.